What if I told you there's a Bible so ancient, so forbidden, that it has been hidden from the world for centuries? A Bible that the West fears, suppresses, and keeps from public knowledge. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the Ethiopian Bible, an artifact of Black history, full of forbidden knowledge that has the power to challenge everything you think you know about religion. Why have they gone to such lengths to hide it? The answer might shock you. Have you ever wondered why you rarely hear about the Ethiopian Bible in Western discussions of Christianity? You've been told it can't be trusted, that it's just a relic. But what they don't want you to know is that it's banned, silenced, because it exposes historical truths and sacred knowledge that have been buried under centuries of Western manipulation. This ancient text, nearly 1,400 years old, predating the King James Bible by almost 1,000 years, places Black people at the very center of religious history. Yes, it boldly depicts Jesus and other key religious figures as Black. It holds knowledge so sensitive, so dangerous that it has been systematically kept from the public eye. So why exactly is this Bible feared? Welcome to our channel, where we uncover the hidden truths of Black African history, culture, and civilization. Today, we're diving into the Ethiopian Bible, a text with knowledge so forbidden that it terrifies the West. Join us as we peel back the layers of this extraordinary book and reveal what's been kept in the shadows for far too long. The Ethiopian Bible, also known as the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church Canon, is the oldest complete Bible in existence, untouched by the revisions and censorship seen in other traditions. It contains a staggering 81 to 88 books, far more than the standard Christian Bible. Why, you ask? Because the Ethiopian Church took a different path, one that embraced a wider array of sacred texts, preserving knowledge that others discarded. But how did this happen? How did Ethiopia come to have such a unique and complete biblical canon? Christianity reached Ethiopia in the 1st century AD, and unlike the Western world, Ethiopia's church grew independently from the Roman and Byzantine empires. This allowed them to compile their scriptures without the political and theological pressures that shaped the Western Bible. Instead of cutting away what didn't fit a narrow narrative, they embraced a broader spectrum of religious texts. This resulted in a biblical canon that offers a deeper, richer understanding of early Christianity, one that has been kept out of reach from the rest of the world. Why the West fears it is simple. The Ethiopian Bible breaks the mold. It disrupts the Western narrative, presenting a version of Christianity that centers on Black people and Black religious figures. And more than that, it contains texts that were excluded from other Bible's texts that shed light on different aspects of faith, spirituality, and history. This Bible is not just a religious document, it's a direct challenge to the Western theological framework. Geography played a crucial role in Ethiopia's religious independence. Isolated in the Horn of Africa, the Ethiopian Church was free to develop its canon without external influence. While Europe was busy selecting which texts fit their desired narrative, Ethiopia chose to preserve a wide range of books, ensuring that their sacred knowledge would remain intact. This isolation protected Ethiopia from the selective processes that shaped the Western canon, allowing them to maintain a scriptural tradition that was untouched by the hands of Western revisionism. The additional books in the Ethiopian Bible include texts like the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilees, which offer unique theological perspectives not found in other Christian traditions. These books provide alternative views on Christian beliefs, rituals, and spirituality, views that have enriched the faith of Ethiopian Christians for centuries. But these differences are precisely why the West has tried to suppress the Ethiopian Bible. It offers interpretations that challenge the Western version of Christianity, posing questions that many are not ready to answer. Before we delve deeper into the forbidden knowledge contained within this ancient text, let's take a moment to understand why the Ethiopian Bible holds such power. Even the Vatican acknowledges that it is the oldest and most complete Bible in its original form, unchanged and untouched by later revisions. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church has a special biblical canon, which includes not only the familiar Old and New Testament books but also additional texts like the Kebra Nagast, or Glory of Kings, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Jubilees. These sacred texts provide a rich tapestry of theology and history that was lost to other Christian traditions. The Kebra Nagast, for example, tells the story of the Queen of Sheba and her son, Menelik, who is said to have brought the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia. These stories are not found in Western Bibles, and their inclusion in the Ethiopian Bible adds layers of spiritual and historical significance. Ethiopia's Christian heritage is one of the oldest in the world, dating back to the 4th century CE when King Azana made Christianity the official state religion. This long history, coupled with Ethiopia's geographical isolation, allowed its church to develop its religious practices and canon independently of Western influence. In doing so, Ethiopia preserved a version of Christianity that is both ancient and authentic, a version that has not been shaped by Western politics or theology. In stark contrast, the King James Version of the Bible, created in 1604 and published in 1611, was commissioned for political purposes in England. The King James Bible drew from Greek and Hebrew manuscripts available at the time, but these manuscripts were not the oldest or most accurate representations of the original biblical texts. The limitations of early 17th century scholarship meant that the JV was far from perfect, yet it became the dominant version of the Bible in the West. This is precisely why the Ethiopian Bible is so important. It represents an older, more complete tradition that predates the Western versions of Christianity. The inclusion of books like Enoch and Jubilees in the Ethiopian Bible shows that early Christians accepted these texts before they were excluded from other traditions. While the King James Bible is rooted in Byzantine and Western manuscripts, the Ethiopian Bible incorporates a broader range of sources, offering a more comprehensive view of Christian history and theology. These differences have led to varying interpretations of Christian belief, which is why the Ethiopian Bible remains a source of mystery and intrigue to this day. But how was the Ethiopian Bible preserved? During the early centuries of Christianity, diverse manuscripts and versions of biblical texts circulated across different regions, each reflecting unique theological emphasis and textual traditions. The Byzantine Empire, centered in Constantinople, played a central role in standardizing and spreading biblical texts within the Eastern Orthodox Church. This process involved selecting certain manuscripts as authoritative and establishing textual norms aligned with Byzantine theological perspectives. Byzantine influence on biblical standardization was particularly profound in the Greek-speaking Eastern Christian world. Scholars and theologians dedicated themselves to preserving and transmitting biblical texts, leading to the predominance of manuscripts like the Byzantine text type and textes. These manuscripts laid the groundwork for subsequent translations and interpretations both within and beyond the Byzantine Empire. However, these versions of the Bible had collectively excluded other nations and records that were distant from white Europeans. For example, accounts of Black Africans and Black people were excluded because they did not align with the Church's narrative. In the Ethiopian Bible, Black people are at the center because Africa has remained the focal point of all religions. In contrast, fewer accounts focus on Europe and white people. The Byzantine Empire changed the Bible and made white Europeans the center. Yet, this was not the end. Colonialism became the source of spreading these changed Bibles in the world. Starting in the 15th century, European powers embarked on extensive campaigns to propagate Christianity during the Age of Exploration and subsequent colonization. Central to this mission was the dissemination of standardized Bibles influenced by Western European traditions, including versions such as the Latin Vulgate and later the King James Version in English. European colonizers viewed Christianity as a tool for cultural hegemony, using religious conversion to legitimize and facilitate their colonial ventures. The widespread distribution of standardized Bibles aimed to enforce Western cultural norms and religious practices upon indigenous populations and colonized territories. This often entailed suppressing or marginalizing local interpretations of Christianity and non-canonical texts that diverge from Western theological perspectives. The global expansion of standardized Bibles under European colonization significantly impacted the diversity of biblical texts and interpretations worldwide. Indigenous Christian traditions and local variations, enriched by unique cultural elements and textual traditions, faced pressures to conform to Western norms. This process frequently led to the sidelining or outright suppression of earlier versions of biblical texts and manuscripts that did not align with the standardized versions promoted by European missionaries and colonial authorities. In contrast to many regions affected by European colonization, Ethiopia maintained its independence during the 19th century scramble for Africa. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, one of the oldest Christian churches globally, traces its origins to the 4th century CE and has preserved a distinctive biblical canon known as the Ethiopian Bible, or the Kebra Nagast, or the Glory of Kings. The Ethiopian Bible includes not only the standard Old and New Testament books recognized by most Christian denominations, but also incorporates additional texts such as the Book of Enoch, Jubilees, and other traditional Jewish writings. This canonization process developed independently from Western influences due to Ethiopia's geographical isolation and cultural distinctiveness. The preservation of the Ethiopian Bible underscores Ethiopia's rich Christian heritage and its resilience against attempts to impose foreign theological frameworks. The inclusion of non-canonical texts in the Ethiopian Bible highlights an early acceptance among Ethiopian Christians of ancient texts that were excluded or marginalized in other Christian traditions shaped by Western European interpretations. Now let's understand what prohibited elements the Ethiopian Bible contains. The Ethiopian Bible holds a treasury of texts that distinguish it from other Christian canons worldwide. Among its most distinctive contents is the Book of Enoch, attributed to the biblical figure Enoch himself. This ancient text offers a unique perspective, detailed descriptions of angelic beings, and profound teachings on cosmology and eschatology, subjects largely absent from the widely recognized biblical texts. The Book of Enoch is notable for its exploration of celestial kingdoms, providing insights into the hierarchy of angels and divine judgment. It introduces readers to a cosmological worldview that includes multiple heavenly realms, presenting interpretations of Genesis that diverge significantly from mainstream Christian beliefs. Moreover, the text integrates enigmatic knowledge of astrology and angelology, reflecting influences from various non-canonical traditions in ancient Jewish mysticism. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video, and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. Central to the Ethiopian Bible is Enoch himself, portrayed as a righteous figure from Ethiopia. According to Ethiopian scripture, Enoch enjoyed a profound spiritual connection with God, receiving divine visions that reveal details about the celestial realms. He meticulously recorded these revelations within the pages of the book attributed to him, ensuring their preservation for generations to come. Throughout the Book of Enoch, readers encounter Enoch's extensive interactions with heavenly beings. These include dialogues with prominent archangels like Gabriel and Michael, as well as encounters with the Watchers, a group of fallen angels. Through these divine encounters, Enoch receives revelations about the creation of the universe, the complexities of cosmic design, and the ultimate fate awaiting humanity. However, because Enoch was a Black African, Europeans did not feel it was important to include his book in their version of the Bible. The absence of the Book of Enoch from European Christian traditions can be attributed to the challenges European theologians faced in reconciling its contents with their established doctrines. The text's central theme revolves around the Nephilim, believed to be the offspring of unions between angels and humans. Enoch's warnings about the grave consequences of intermingling celestial and earthly realms culminate in the narrative of the Great Flood, a divine judgment intended to cleanse the world of widespread corruption and wickedness. Enoch's prophetic visions extend beyond historical narratives, including foretelling future events and the establishment of God's sovereignty on earth. As portrayed in the scriptures, Enoch emerges as a bold and insightful prophet who fearlessly predicts impending punishments for the unrighteous while urging humanity to repent and embrace lives of righteousness. In addition to the Book of Enoch, another significant text within the Ethiopian Bible is the Book of Jubilees. This work retells biblical narratives from the creation of the world through the giving of the law at Mount Sinai, alongside familiar stories from the Hebrew Bible. The Book of Jubilees introduces supplementary laws, customs, and interpretations that provide a distinctive perspective on foundational biblical events. These texts within the Ethiopian Bible not only enrich its literary and theological content, but also offer alternative viewpoints on essential beliefs and spiritual teachings. They contribute profoundly to the diverse religious heritage of Ethiopian Orthodox Christians, reinforcing their distinct identity within the broader landscape of global Christianity. Through these ancient texts, Ethiopian Orthodox believers continue to find spiritual guidance, deeper insights into their faith, and a profound connection to their religious traditions spanning millennia. Then there are the Book of Tobit and the Book of Judith, which stand out for their rich storytelling and moral lessons. The Book of Tobit follows the journey of Tobit and his son Tobias as they face various challenges, receiving assistance from angelic beings along the way. This narrative beautifully illustrates themes of faith, providence, and the protective power of divine intervention. Similarly, the Book of Judith recounts the heroic tale of Judith, a woman who saves her people through cunning deception and the assassination of the Assyrian general Holofernes. Judith's story highlights themes of courage, wisdom, and the power of faith in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. Both of these books provide inspiring examples of how steadfast faith and divine guidance can lead to miraculous outcomes, reinforcing the spiritual and moral teachings of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. In addition to these narratives, the Ethiopian Bible includes early Christian writings such as 1 and 6 Clement, attributed to Clement of Rome. These texts delve into sensitive topics such as church hierarchy, apostolic authority, and ecclesiastical discipline. Despite their valuable insights into early Christian theology and practice, these writings are notably absent from most mainstream Christian Christian. This reflects the differing traditions and priorities in the formation of biblical canons between the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and other Christian denominations. These additional texts enrich the Ethiopian and Orthodox tradition with diverse theological perspectives, literary styles, and cultural insights. They play a central role in the religious life of Ethiopian Christians, offering a broader engagement with biblical texts that reflect the depth and diversity of the Christian faith within their community. The inclusion of such a wide range of writings underscores the Ethiopian Church's commitment to preserving a rich and multifaceted religious heritage. The Ethiopian Bible also provides enriched accounts of stories found in European Bibles, often with additional details that expand upon familiar narratives. For instance, it includes the legendary tale of the Queen of Sheba's visit to King Solomon. According to Ethiopian tradition, their union resulted in the birth of Menelik, who later became the first emperor of Ethiopia. This story not only enhances the historical and cultural connection between Ethiopia and ancient Israel, but also underscores the Ethiopian belief in their unique and divinely ordained heritage. What's more, a significant belief within the Ethiopian Orthodox tradition centers around the prophecy of the Ark of the Sea. According to this tradition, the Ark, which housed the tablets of the Ten Commandments, was brought to Ethiopia by Menelik. It is believed to currently reside in the Church of St. Mary of Zion in Aksum, Ethiopia. This belief fulfills biblical prophecies regarding the preservation and significance of the Ark, reinforcing the Ethiopian Church's connection to ancient biblical history. The Ethiopian Bible also includes elaborate prophecies concerning the end times and the anticipated return of Jesus Christ. These prophecies detail various signs and events that will precede the second coming, such as wars, famines, earthquakes, and the emergence of false prophets. Additionally, the Ethiopian Bible addresses the prophecy of the Antichrist, portraying him as a leader who opposes Christ and deceives humanity during the end times. His influence is expected to lead many astray from the truth of God, promoting falsehood and discord among nations and individuals alike. This prophecy serves as a warning to believers to remain vigilant and steadfast in their faith, resisting the temptations and deceptions of the Antichrist. Furthermore, The Ethiopian Bible contains prophecies offering insights into the rise and fall of nations and civilizations throughout history. These prophecies highlight the significance of moral righteousness and spiritual integrity in determining the destinies of nations and individuals. They emphasize timeless principles of divine justice and human accountability, reminding believers of the enduring importance of ethical and spiritual conduct. But why has the West deemed the Ethiopian Bible as controversial? Well, that's because the Ethiopian Bible challenges the modern Bible and the Eurocentric interpretation of the Bible. This divergence becomes especially pronounced with the inclusion of forbidden teachings that challenge orthodox interpretations and offer unique insights into religious history and theology. One aspect of the Ethiopian Bible is its alternative interpretations of biblical stories. These interpretations often provide new perspectives on familiar narratives like those of Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark, and the Exodus, offering a deeper understanding of their significance within the broader context of religious history. For example, the story of Adam and Eve is commonly seen as a cautionary tale of disobedience and the fall from grace. However, the Ethiopian Bible adds layers of meaning, portraying Adam and Eve not just as sinners, but as beings endowed with divine wisdom and gunsbos. Their expulsion from the Garden of Eden is framed not as punishment for disobedience, but as a necessary step toward enlightenment and spiritual growth. This interpretation challenges traditional notions of original sin and underscores humanity's inherent goodness. Similarly, the story of Noah's Ark gains new dimensions in the Ethiopian Bible. While the flood narrative is often depicted as divine punishment for human wickedness, the Ethiopian tradition emphasizes Noah's righteousness and the covenant between God and humanity. This reinterpretation highlights themes of mercy, forgiveness, and God's enduring faithfulness. Beyond these biblical narratives, the Ethiopian Bible includes teachings on unorthodox religious practices and esoteric wisdom that mainstream Christianity often considers taboo. These teachings cover various subjects, including mystical interpretations of Scripture, spiritual practices like meditation and prayer, and the pursuit of divine knowledge. Central to these teachings is the belief in the inherent divinity of all creation and the potential for spiritual enlightenment through inner transformation. The Ethiopian Bible provides additional knowledge that other Bibles lack. This expanded understanding broadens Christianity's reach beyond Europe, extending its influence to Africa and the entire world. It represents a shift away from Eurocentrism, which views Europe as the center of everything, including religion. Recognizing the Ethiopian Bible challenges this Eurocentric perspective and promotes a more inclusive understanding of Christianity. For many centuries, the European Church held supreme authority. Allowing the Ethiopian Bible to be taught and read could have undermined that authority. Faced with this threat, the Church had two options: accept the Ethiopian Bible and relinquish some control, or ban it and maintain power. Unsurprisingly, the Church chose to ban it, continuing to hold on to its influence. Political factors also played a significant role in the rejection of the Ethiopian Bible. In the early days of Christianity, political power often took precedence over spiritual growth. This led to the omission of parts of the Bible that didn't fit the preferred narrative. For example, during Emperor Constantine's reign, the Bishop of Rome instructed priests to destroy all accounts that were carefully excluded from the Bible, viewing them as a threat to the Church's uniformity and authority. Despite these efforts, many of these texts were hidden near the Dead Sea and were only rediscovered in the 1940s, highlighting the lengths the Church went to control religious texts. However, the Ethiopian Bible remains to this day the most original and well-protected form of the Bible in the world. Apart from historical accounts and forbidden knowledge, the Ethiopian Bible also contains historical depictions that were painted in the early 6th century. Its notable feature is the portrayal of all figures, religious prophets, and biblical characters with dark skin. This distinctive artistic choice is deeply rooted in the cultural and historical context of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, which has meticulously preserved and developed its religious texts over the centuries. While in many parts of the world, biblical figures have traditionally been depicted as Caucasian or light-skinned in religious art, The Ethiopian tradition offers a contrasting viewpoint. Artists and scribes of the Ethiopian Bible were profoundly influenced by their own cultural heritage, which included an understanding of the original ethnicities and appearances of biblical figures. The depictions in the Ethiopian Bible can be trusted because it was written after 600 years of Jesus, compared to the later paintings created in the late 16th and 17th centuries. This is supported by Russian icons, which are paintings made in the 12th, 13th, and 14th centuries. Exploring the representation of religious figures in Russian icons reveals a striking aspect. Jesus, the Virgin Mary, and other prophets are often depicted with dark or black skin tones. Even the angels are portrayed with dark skin tones. A notable departure from later European artistic norms is the portrayal of Jesus Christ with darker skin tones in Russian icons from this period. This contrasts sharply with the Caucasian or light-skinned depictions prevalent in Western European art. Instead, the Russian icons of the time suggest a cultural affinity with the Eastern Mediterranean origins of Christianity and a continuity with Byzantine artistic traditions. It's because it was precisely after this point that the Byzantine Empire started whitewashing religion, and Russia was invaded by the Mongols. This disconnected the Byzantine Church from Russia, allowing Russia to preserve the original paintings. Similarly, Ethiopia, which could not be colonized, has maintained its Bible and paintings in their original form. What do you think? Should Christians around the world read the Ethiopian Bible and see what it contains? Isn't it true that to understand the untempered and unaltered narratives, we need to explore all versions of the sacred texts? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think about the Ethiopian Bible and its impact on our understanding of history and religion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on more content exploring Black African history, culture, and untold truths. Hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we release new videos.